On today's show, everything we learned from last night's thrilling Senators win over the Anaheim Ducks.
And we have a weekend preview for tomorrow's game up against the San Jose Sharks.
This is Brady Tkachuk, and you're listening to the Locked On Senators podcast.
Your Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome. You are locked on to the Ottawa Senators. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller, and today is Friday, November 21st. Pillsy, the Ottawa Senators have the third highest points percentage in the National Hockey League in the last month.
Yeah, and this is the November that we were terrified of come late October, but they've done a really good job here. And what better way to kick off a long road trip than a regulation win?
Huge. And to do it the way they did, give up an early lead, fight back, tie it with a power play goal, and then for Drake Batherson to get his stick on that Sanderson point shot. It was a beautiful moment to end an exciting game, like thrilling, fast-paced. Both teams had their legs in this one, and I think that this is the perfect way to start the road trip. Like it's one thing if you win 5-0, yeah, you feel good, but to do it in a game where the other team was playing well, their goalie was outstanding, I think that should give you even more confidence going into the rest of California and beyond.
Yeah, and the Ducks played with the lead. The Ottawa Senators found a way to tie it and then get that late goal. The Senators find a way to get a power play goal, Ross. You wanted to see that. Stephen Halliday, the disher, with his first NHL point, a beautiful pass to set up Shane Pinto. So this is the kind of game you want to win, and it builds confidence for you the rest of this road trip, because the Ducks are arguably the best team in California right now. So to start off with the win there, that's great.
Yes. What's your biggest takeaway going into the weekend?
Dylan Cousins should have had a hat trick in that game. I mean, oh my God, the amount of chances this guy had. 6 shots for him, and 3 of them were grade A chances and opportunities that he's just not able to bury on. You mentioned it, Peter Mrazek, the Jekyll and Hyde goalie. Either he's absolutely outstanding or absolutely god-awful, and he was outstanding last night, and Dylan Cousins just couldn't beat him, but didn't end up being that big of a deal. He does get an assist, so you love to see that, but yeah, I thought watching the condensed game, Ross, I was like, how does Dylan Cousins not have 1, 2, or even 3 goals in this one?
Well, he was spreading the wealth because he gave it to Nick Cousins, who scored. And we were talking about that last night. I said that had to be the hardest shot he's taken all year. And it wasn't even close. Our guy Senator on Twitter just sent us the NHL Edge stat for it. Nice. That was an 86.6 mile an hour slap shot from the hash marks, 10 miles an hour faster than his next hardest shot this year.
Wait, 10 miles an hour faster or slower?
Faster. It was the fastest shot he took all year.
Okay. I would have thought that one was in the 90s, the way that one looked. Like, he got all of that, and he put it in a perfect spot. Like, watching that, not slowed down, not tight angle, just live, I was shocked at how he was able to put that away. I was like, what? Is that Nick Cousins there? Damn.
Yeah, and the 2 goals that happened against Ottawa, they're both just kind of tough mistakes by individual players. Zub missing the outlet pass and then getting dangled on what was supposed to be a shot, and it just kind of fluttered through his legs, and then a great pass from Gauthier. And the other one, Nick Jensen, I get it if he wants to pinch, but he doesn't have to pinch that deep. Like, I didn't understand why he was so far in the offensive zone.
No, Nick Jensen coming off hip surgery in the offseason. I'm putting a no pinch rule on him for the time being, at least until we see a little bit more of his skating and pivoting abilities. No pinch for Nick Jensen.
No pinches. But he made up for it, man. He did have a few good plays in this game. It was a bit of a up and down game for Jensen, but Zub completely made up for his mistake, getting that stick on Seneca at the end. So it was all in all a performance that you can really, really build on. And if you're an Ottawa Senators fan, you got to be fired up, because without Brady Tkachuk, the Sens are now 8-4-4. Incredible after the way that it started. It did not look good in Buffalo. But since then, the Sens have just found ways to accumulate points. And I wasn't kidding when I said they have the third best points percentage since October 19th. It's truly remarkable. They got a 714 points percentage. The only teams ahead of them are Dallas and Colorado. And the only 2 regulation losses they've had, Pilsy, are against Western Conference teams. So if you're going to drop them, those are the ones to lose. They fell to Chicago and LA. Otherwise, it's been point, 2 points, point, 2 points, and they're finding their way. It's so tight. Like Ottawa went, I know it's early to look at the standings, but they went from 9th in the East to tied for 2nd in the division just with last night's game. And if you go by points percentage, Ottawa and Tampa are both tied atop the Atlantic Division with 600 point percentage. So they get a point 60% of the time. Huge for the vibes around this team. The Sens are also now 4-3-2 on the road this season. So we want to see that road record continue to move forward. And I think that there's a lot of translatable things that they did, from their fast start to good special teams on both sides of it and good goaltending. You look down the ice, we talk about Peter Mrazek. I felt like Linus Ullmark was giving the Ottawa Senators a ton of confidence with the way he was playing. Wasn't busy, especially early, only 3 shots against in the first period. And there was a save early in the second where you're like, okay, it's been like 40 minutes since he's had a shot on goal. No real chances in the first period. Sport Logique had it 10-0 Ottawa in scoring chances in the first period. So he was kind of twiddling his thumbs, leaning on his stick, hanging out, and then he was put into action and had to make a couple good saves. And no rebounds, was tracking the puck. Recoveries look good. I really felt confident in Linus Ullmark's game, and I'm saying that more and more as we move on here, because it was real down for a while. And now 4 straight games with a save percentage over 900, and smaller sample size alert. In the last 2 games, he's allowed 3 goals on a total of 42 shots. So all in all, step forward for the team and a leap forward for Linus Ullmark.
Yeah, and the 2 goals that were scored were not his fault at all. So there was no like, oh, bad goal there. You wish he had that one back. None of that. And he was feeling himself, Ross. The confidence to go for the goalie goal. Now, look, we're a hashtag goalie-friendly show. Goalie goals are exciting. Goalie fights are exciting. We love it. But I didn't necessarily love that decision to go for it there. Now, he almost gets it. He doesn't mess it up or give it away. Like, he almost sorted over the defenseman's hand there. The defenseman had to stretch up and got a piece of it. But I would prefer for goalie goals, especially when you're behind your net, shooting that, maybe stick to a 2-goal lead there, because the Ottawa Senators barely, I know, lame, not cool. That's fair. But if that goes wrong, Ross, he's not even in his net, and that's an easy goal, and now you're tied it up, and you've lost that momentum you gained by that late, thrilling Drake Batherson goal. So I don't necessarily love the decision there, but it's exciting, and if you're feeling it, go for it, I guess. But I prefer
my rule
2-goal leads and at least be in front of the net when you decide to go for it.
I got a firm rule I live by with goalies trying for the empty net. If you've scored a goal in the National Hockey League, you can do it anytime you want. Linus Ullmark has a goal and 5 assists in his career. That's more than Zetterlund has points this season.
Yeah. Again, I love goalie goals, but when you combine, you just took the lead, you're standing behind your own net, and you're only up by 1. Risky.
Well, you know why Linus Ullmark did that. He's looking to extend his point streak to 4 seasons. He's got at least a point, or 5 seasons. He's got at least a point in each of the last 4 seasons. So he wants to get that. And we saw on the dad's trip, he actually brought a mentor. He brought his old goalie coach from growing up, and they were going around. The Sens posted on their socials about what the best moment was for you with watching the player. And he said, I know Linus has always wanted to score a goal. So when he did that against Vancouver, it was like the greatest moment, and he was so excited. So he's going to try that every time. He's got a goal scorer's mentality from the crease. I don't know if that's ever been said.
He wasn't even in his crease, Ross. Like I said, behind the net.
Yeah, hey, didn't cost them because
That's the all-star zone, isn't it? For goalies to score behind your own net.
exactly. Make it a little more challenging. Hey, it
Uh,
was exciting and thrilling was another way to describe the last minute because with the goalie pulled, Beckett Seneca gets that great chance. Talk about Zoo making a good play. But then Jackson Lacombe had a route to the net. There was a body in front, but that could have gotten through.
Wasn't that Terry?
Was it Terry? I thought it was Lacombe.
No, I think I could be wrong, but I think it was Troy Terry because I was so nervous that Karma was going to come back and bite Ullmark for that confident move there because Ullmark was not in position for that at all. And Terry, I think it's Terry, snaps his stick trying to shoot that. He probably would have scored that one.
Oh, easily. I shouldn't say easily, but it was more likely than not that was going into the back of the net. But hey, got to check those sticks because they can snap on you at any moment. Ottawa fortunate to get the regulation win, but a game that they controlled the pace and I'd say controlled the majority of the game other than the start of the third.
And the last thing I want to mention, Ross, I talked about the special teams face-off percentage. Well, I nailed it. The Ottawa Senators went 5 for 6 on the power play. Good for 83%, only losing one draw on the man advantage. So that, I mean, it didn't directly result in that power play goal, but it still helps you maintain possession and gain momentum.
Sens have played 20 games this season. How many of those games do you think they've lost the face-off battle? Under 50%.
3?
The answer is next. You're listening to Locked On Senators, your team every day.
Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Monarch. Let's be honest, most of us can't name all of our financial accounts, let alone what they're worth. Between 401ks, savings, and investments, it's easy to lose track of it all, and that can mean leaving money on the table. Don't do that. That's why there's Monarch, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. It's going to help you organize your accounts, track your spending, and get a better handle on your investments without ever touching a spreadsheet. I love that you can review everything with your partner, see your shared goals, and make better financial decisions together. Monarch's visual dashboards and smart tools make it so much easier to understand where your money's going and how to make it work harder for you. So in this economy, do not let financial opportunities slip through the cracks, guys. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarch.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarch.com, code LOCKEDONNHL for half off your first year.
All right, Pilsy, the Ottawa Senators season-long 7-game road trip continues tomorrow night in San Jose. We will get to a game day preview, but Pilsy, you absolutely nailed it. 3 times out of 20 this year, the Senators have had under 50% in the face-off dot. They are 1-0-2 in those games. So 17 times they've won the face-off battle this season. The games they didn't win it, the OT loss against the Dallas Stars, the OT loss in Boston, and the win at home 2-1 over the Philadelphia Flyers. Last night with 55.6% in the dot. They controlled 62% of the shot attempts at 5-on-5, and just overall a great performance. Sorry, it was 52% of the 5-on-5 shot attempts. I was looking at the LA game there, the last one, but incredible to see, and we'll look to forward that tomorrow night. But before we get to the game day preview, let's discuss the out-of-town scoreboard because it was pretty good. I won't say it was elite because there's still teams in the mix. The Tampa Bay Lightning erased a 1-0 deficit, 2 goals in that one. They tied in the third, win it in overtime. The Florida Panthers, they look like they've found their game despite all their injuries. They got a win over the New Jersey Devils. But you look around geographically, the Maple Leafs lose in overtime. And the Montreal Canadiens, Pilsy, I stood firm on my take. I did for the Red Wings as well when they started hot. They lose 5-0 to the New York Islanders. But don't you remember there was a little stat we brought up on Locked On Senators about how the Montreal Canadiens, they had a great record. They were beating a lot of non-playoff teams from last year. And you were wondering, is this sustainable? Well, after an 8-4 loss to the Washington Capitals last night, the Habs have 1 win in their last 8 games. So they've come down to earth. The Senators actually ahead of the Habs in the standings now. So we'll see if they can continue on that trajectory. But just some overall thoughts of what you saw on the out-of-town scoreboard. Busy night. There were 12 games last night in the league.
I love to see it, Ross. Nothing, well, I shouldn't say nothing, but there's few things that get me more excited than watching the Montreal Canadiens lose again and again and again, and especially a 5-0 loss. Oh, that's the good stuff right there.
That's the good stuff. Hey, speaking of Ottawa getting the regulation win, that is the first tiebreaker when it comes to standings, and Ottawa has less regulation wins than every other team that's currently sitting in a playoff spot. So that was important for the long haul.
Also, I messed up. It was the Red Wings that lost 5-0. The Canadiens lost 8-4. Not much better.
Yeah, no. And they were down just by a goal, and then all of a sudden they just opened the floodgates. The Capitals did in that game. But you look at tonight in the National Hockey League, a classic Friday in the league, not a whole lot going on, just 4 games, 1 rooting of interest for the Ottawa Senators, and that is the LA Kings over the Boston Bruins. Elsewhere, I feel like we're adding insult to injury, Pilsy, but hey, we got their pick in the second round, so we're going to be rooting for more misery in Buffalo. The Chicago Blackhawks are visiting Western New York. We'll also be looking for Minnesota to beat up on the Pittsburgh Penguins. The only other game is Carolina. Nikolai Ehlers returning to Winnipeg as a visitor for the first time. But a note that affects the Ottawa Senators, the MVP of the league, reigning back-to-back Vezina Trophy winner, Connor Hellebuck, is out 4 to 6 weeks with a minor knee procedure. The Ottawa Senators are in Winnipeg in 3.5 weeks. So, timeline, never root for injuries, but that game becomes a lot more winnable if the MVP of the league isn't out there.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, the better chance the Ottawa Senators have at winning that game, the better, because heading to Winnipeg in December could be a lot better if the Ottawa Senators win for me. So I'm fired up for that one.
Yeah, we haven't even announced it yet, Pills. Your boots on the ground for this one.
Yeah, flights booked. I'm ready to roll. Let's go.
And last time you came was 2 seasons ago, and they got the win. That was their only win on the road in the Western Conference. That whole year.
Yeah, that is crazy. Wow.
And it was a late goal there, too. Brady Tkachuk scored right in front of us with about 2 or 3 minutes left for the Sens to get the win. So we're fired up to be boots on the ground for that one. If you missed last night's game or postcast, go check it out. We had a boots on the ground report with Gavin Wood. Great conversation with Jack Richardson as well. But we'll turn our attention to the San Jose Sharks now. One of the most exciting up-and-coming teams in the National Hockey League. We got the privilege to see Macklin Celebrini play last season. Last boots on the ground game that I've had for the Sens was that win over the San Jose Sharks. And they came out buzzing in that game. The shots were like 9-1 San Jose, and then Pinto scored on a breakaway, and it really felt like it put Ottawa in a better spot. They were trailing after 2, though. They came out in the third and really took it to Vitek Vanacek. But now it looks like the Sharks have found themselves a goalie in Yaroslav Askarov.
Yeah, Askarov's been good, and man, we'll get to it, but my God, I did not expect Macklin Celebrini to pop off like this early.
Wayne Gretzky, Sidney Crosby, Mario Lemieux, and Macklin Celebrini. I'll tell you what, those 4 players are the only 4 in NHL history to have in common next with a game day preview. You're listening to Locked On Senators, your team every day.
Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Rougiette. Let's be real, guys. Making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress. I'm just tired. Or it happens to everyone sometimes. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support. That's where Rougiette comes in. Rougiette.com offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Rougiette makes it easy to get started. You just connect with a doctor that is 100% certified online. No awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments. If prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly straight to your door. The process is fast, simple, and private, and it's all handled by real doctors. It's about confidence, connection, and getting back to those moments that matter. Visit rougiette.com/lockedonnhl to get 15% off your first order. That's RUGIET.com/lockedonnhl. And don't forget to use our code LockedOnNHL so they know the Locked On Senators podcast sent you. Rougiette, stop making excuses and start making moves.
Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. It is the official sports betting partner here on the Locked On Podcast Network, as well as the NBA. There's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel. Even if you miss the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at bigger payouts. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. I'm looking at the please help the Sens parlay tonight. Oh, here we go. Another good one. There's 4 games in the league. We already talked about which teams we're looking to get victories. We're looking for Minnesota over Pittsburgh, Chicago over Buffalo, and LA over Boston. You put $10 on that, you win 64 if the please help the Sens parlay is successful. But you can make every moment more over at FanDuel. Right now, FanDuel's giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, Pillsy, it is a weekend that East Coast Sens fans can rejoice over. It is a 7 o'clock Eastern start on the West Coast, so it's an afternoon game for the players playing, but for all of you out east, you're able to get some sleep. It was a late one last night, Pillsy. First of only 2 10 o'clock games, though, all season. The next and final one is coming up next Wednesday in Vegas.
Now, Ross, have we discussed this? Does this count as a matinee Claude Giroux prop bet game or no?
Oh, I think that they've been out west long enough that it does. I think if it was the Anaheim game, jet lag, everything on that stand, I think this is going to be a Claude Giroux game. He was good last night, too. I thought he was buzzing. That Amadio Pinto Giroux line is awesome. I'm so mad that Pinto got robbed with the blocker on that sick passing play.
Oh, that was so good. For Giroux to drop that back and then Amadio to have the heads up play to look for Pinto there. Yeah, if they could have finished that one off, that would have been TSN highlight reel material for sure.
Oh, it would have been awesome. The stat that I mentioned, Wayne Gretzky, Sidney Crosby, and Macklin Celebrini. Those are the only players in NHL history to have 30 points in their team's first 20 games as a teenager in the National Hockey League. Mario Lemieux, I added in there as well because he had 30 points in his first 20 games, but he missed 7 games throughout that, so it wasn't his team's first 20 games. But pretty good company to find yourself in, and they asked Celebrini about that after the game the other night, and he's like, I don't care. He's like, I just want to win. Like, don't tell me that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's I feel like that's typical, especially Ross. It's kind of crazy. If you're a first overall pick, you go from lighting it up and having success probably wherever you were playing college or junior or wherever you're coming from to then slugging through some tough years on a rebuilding team. So these guys are like, I know I'm sick. Like, cool. I'm in the category with Lemieux, Gretzky, all those guys. I don't care. Like, that doesn't surprise me. I want to win some hockey games here.
Yeah, and they've been winning more, right? You said they're coming off of a big win last night over the LA Kings in a shootout. We know how stingy the LA Kings can be. They also beat Utah in overtime just a few nights ago. So they're playing some pretty good hockey, really, since the start of the year, where their coach said that he'd give up one of his kids to get a win. I don't know if the hockey gods accepted his apology. It certainly seems like it because the Sharks are 10-4-1 in their last 15 games. So
he's got 10 kids?
No. Well, what? You think he lost a kid for each one?
That's what he said. I'll give up a kid for each win. So that's the deal with the devil he's made. So
he had to apologize for that one. I'm sure there's a couple conversations at home about, hey, let's keep business and let's keep family. He's a young coach, man. He just wants to win hockey games. I get what he meant, but I don't know if his wife was probably too thrilled about that one.
Yeah, that's a tough one for the wife to get sent clips of that from her friends being like, "You hear what your husband said?"
Yeah, no doubt. But hey, the Sharks are playing some inspired hockey right now. We'll get to their lineup in just a moment. But first, your Ottawa Senators. We're basing it off of last night's game, and really only one thing to tell you about, and that is Nicholas Matinpalo, who left last night's game after taking a big hit, went awkwardly into the boards, and did not return. So we didn't get an update from Travis Green after the game, but we put an asterisk next to him on the lineup sheet here, wondering if maybe Lassie Thompson sneaks into the lineup for Saturday's game. Otherwise, lines stay the same. Tim Stützle between David Perron and Drake Batherson. Dylan Cousins with Ridley Gregg and Fabian Zetterlund. Shane Pinto with Amadio and Giroux. And then Stephen Halliday with Nick Cousins and Hayden Hodgson. On the back end, Jake Sanderson with Artem Zub. Tyler Clevin with Jordan Spence. Nicholas Matinpalo, asterisk, with Nick Jensen. And I'm going right back to Linus Ullmark. Like, no?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Now I probably
play Levy in LA on Monday. Like, okay. I'm not giving Levy at Vegas. Like, no,
don't feed him to the wolves there. I did say,
but if you don't go Levy against LA or Vegas, now it's been over 2 weeks since he last played.
And that's what I was going to get to. I did say last week I want to see Levy play at least once a week here. Now, I think when you have all those days off, you got to put an asterisk on that one. But yeah, I'm with you, Ross. Get Levy playing up against the Kings.
I also wouldn't be surprised if Levy does go tomorrow. Like, I'm saying just keep Linus rolling because now it's 4 straight games, over 900 save percentage. He's feeling good. I get that. But I also see the argument where it has already been over a week since Levy played. And with travel and everything, like, it might be good to get his legs under him, and you might need him later in the trip too. So I could see the argument either way, but if I was making the decision, it would be Ullmark on Saturday and Levy on Monday night. And we know that Ullmark had a phenomenal game last season in San Jose, stealing a victory. Him and now a member of the San Jose Sharks, Adam Gaudette, had a great goal. Ottawa got outshot 39-11 in that game and found a way to win. Oh boy. I don't know which way I want to go here. You know what? I will. I'll mention this to you, Pilsy, and I want your thoughts. Ottawa basically played the second half of that game with 10 forwards.
Yes.
Stephen Halliday didn't get a shift in the third period. Hayden Hodgson had 2 quick shifts in the third period. And one of my keys for the road trip was to use all your players. So Travis Green said, well, maybe later, but we're going to go with the guys who are humming. Tim Stützle over 22 minutes played. Is that a style that you would be okay with against San Jose as well?
I think it's fair to say that's a score effects tactic, and time on ice was based on the score there. I'd like to see that fourth line get a little more time. I mean, Nick Cousins scored. And Halliday had an assist. It's not like these guys were no-shows. Now, mind you, obviously Halliday's assist on the power play, but still, I'd like to see all 4 lines roll a little bit more.
Yeah, me too. And look, Halliday, it was his first NHL game, but he had 2.5 minutes at even strength. He almost played as much on the power play as he did at even strength. It was 3 minutes at even strength and 2.5 on the power play and an assist.
Yeah, let's get him out there more. This guy's used to playing 20 minutes a night, top line, top power play. Like, going from that to 5.5 minutes total is probably a big adjustment.
Let's take a look at the San Jose Sharks, the opponent.
Oh, wait, we're not doing locked on players?
Oh, you want to? We can.
I always want to do locked on players, Ross.
Can we get the rewind, please? You're locked on player.
That was more a turkey gobble there. But the rewind, I don't have figured out. The fast forward, I think I've got it, but the rewind, I don't. My locked on player, come on. If any time there was a time for this player to get it going, It's now. Fabian Zetterlund, come on, man. Revenge game up against the Sharks. They traded you with seconds left in the deadline. They're like, okay, you know what? Let's just move on from him. We don't want him. Let's get rid of him. And they casted you away to the Ottawa Senators. And you got to show them that they're going to regret trading you and not signing you to the extension that the Sens did. So I want to see Fabian Zetterlund. Ross, I'm going to get crazy here. 2-point night for Zetterlund. I want a goal and an assist. Most importantly, a goal. Now, again, classic Zetterlund. Our guy Jack Richardson posted the clip. Great play by him to get the screen that allows Nick Cousins to score that goal. That's a great play. You love to see it. Counts for nada on the score sheet. You don't get anything for that effort contributing to that goal. I want to see a goal for Zetterlund here. Let's see him really turn on the Jets. And I mentioned yesterday, Ross, massive move by me, my locked on player not playing in the game. Whoops. But I talked about Brady Tkachuk coming back and Perron and Greg possibly being out of lineup spot. Just because you're on the right side doesn't mean Zetterlund's got that cozy spot there either, because Perron could move to the right side for sure, and he could end up being a guy that goes down all the way to the fourth line. Fabian, you don't want that PTSD of being back on the fourth line when you first got traded here. Let's see you pop off up against your own old team. You're back in the Shark Tank. Smell blood in the water. Let's go.
I like that. Good on Fabian Zetterlund for doing the right things out there. I mean, he has to be. If you're not going to score, I at least want to see the effort plays and the little things away from the puck. He has drawn 6 power plays for Ottawa so far this season, but you need to produce more than just 1 goal in 20 games. We were so much of giving him the benefit of the doubt last year, new team. Well, he's played now the exact same number of games this year as he did with Ottawa last year, and he has 1 less goal, same number of assists. It's the same offensive production. That's on pace for 6 goals over an entire 82-game season, and it's just not enough. Ironically, though, or I don't even know if this is ironic, but funny to mention, though, he's actually averaging 6 seconds less per game this year than he was at the end of last season. Yeah, interesting to note on that. But my locked-on player tomorrow is Tim Stützle. I raved about his play in last night's game on the postcast, and he didn't get on the score sheet. Ottawa had 9 different point contributors, and he had none. And there's a connection there too, Billsy. That's the pick that San Jose gave Ottawa for Erik Karlsson. So it's a quasi-revenge game for Timmy Superstar tomorrow night. And I want to see him put on an absolute show. Remember 2 seasons ago, his only power play goal was in San Jose. So give me a power play goal for Tim Stützle tomorrow night. That's what I'm going to be looking for. He's going to have his hands full, though, with Macklin Celebrini, the top line center on the San Jose Sharks. Celebrini is flanked by Philip Kurashev and Will Smith. Alex Wenberg is the second line center with William Eklund and Tyler Toffoli flanking him. Ty Dellandrea at center on the third line between Adam Gaudette, playing left wing right now with San Jose, and Colin Graff. And the fourth line, Zach Ostapchuk between Barclay Goodrow and Ryan Reeves. On the back end, it's Dmitry Orlov with Timothy Liljegren. It's Mario Ferraro with John Klingberg. And it's Sam Dickinson with, what's Desharnais' first name? Big, tough defenseman. Vincent Desharnais. And then in goal, we talk about Yaroslav Askarov. Hey, if you want to go and throw Nedeljkovic in, be my guest. Ottawa lit him up last year in Pittsburgh during, I believe it was a 5-0 win against the Penguins. Give me him. Give me Tristan Jarry last year. That was a wonderful combo for Ottawa to go up against. But Nedeljkovic is the backup this year. In San Jose, some extras. They've got all defensemen. Shakir Mukhamadullin, Vincent Iorio, and Nick Leddy. They've got injuries to second overall pick from this past draft, Michael Misa, as well as Jeff Skinner out of the lineup. We put an asterisk too. They've got the LTIR of Ryan Ellis and Carey Price, of course. Pilsy, the San Jose Sharks are 20th in power play percent. They're 18th in penalty kill percentage. To me, winning the special teams battle is going to go a long way to winning this game. And then you look at the depth between the two teams, Ottawa's third line should be feasting. I would go so far as saying Ottawa's third line is better than San Jose's second line.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these lines match up. Obviously, if you're Travis Green, you're gonna hope that you can get the Pinto line out there up against this top line, which is just scary good with Celebrini and Smith. But my lookout player is going to be Tyler Toffoli. I think he's kind of goes under the radar here with all the love that the young guys get, as he's certainly more of a veteran player at 33 years old. But he's one of those guys, Ross, that anytime he has the puck on his stick in the offensive zone, you got to be worried about him shooting it. He is such a good shot still. Now, hasn't really popped off this season, just 5 goals, 6 assists in 21 games, but he did score 30 last year, and then 33 the year before, combined with the Devils and the Winnipeg Jets. So this guy gets 30 goals quite consistently recently, the last couple seasons, actually, with multiple different teams. So it doesn't matter where you put him. And he hasn't scored since November 5th up against the Seattle Kraken. So I'm worried that he's due. So I'm going to be looking out for number 73, Tyler Toffoli.
Man, you made me feel old there, Pillsy. That guy's my age. You're like, oh, he's a veteran. He's been around forever.
Hey, you're a veteran too, Ross. Don't kid yourself. Veteran's not a bad term. I didn't say he's a senior citizen or his best years are behind him. All I said was he's a veteran.
Okay, former Ottawa 67. My lookout player is going to be Macklin Celebrini. I mean,
Smart.
How could you not keep an eye on this kid? We got to see him drafted live from the Sphere in Vegas. 31 points, 21 games. Every night, this guy is doing something incredible. He's already got 2 hat tricks this season, Bill. And in 21 games, he's only been held off the score sheet 5 times. So he is a problem, and he's a franchise player. He has been incredible. He's got a great chemistry going with Will Smith. So key to victory as well. Shut down Macklin Celebrini. Good luck, but that is the challenge for the Ottawa Senators. Also going to be keeping an eye on Sam Dickinson, guy we're really excited about at the draft. And Ottawa decided to go with the right shot defenseman, Sam Dickinson, lefty. He's already established now. He's played more than 9 games, so they're starting the run on his contract here. He's got a goal and an assist so far, averaging 14.5 minutes. It's a 7 o'clock start. Yes, 7 o'clock start on a Saturday night. We'll have the postcast for you after the game. Pillsy, any final thoughts on today's show?
Yeah, just some keys to victory here, Ross. The San Jose Sharks, you talk about how good Celebrini is and how much offense he's producing. They don't get a lot of shots on goal, which is another reason why I think it'd be good to get Linus Ullmark in this game, not Levy. Linus is still kind of feeling that groove of last night's game. I think if you were to put Levy in, he might not get a lot of shots. I think that's not a good game to get someone back into. The San Jose Sharks are dead last in the league with averaging 24.1 shots per game. To put that in perspective, the top team, the Hurricanes, are 34.2, so it was over 7 more shots on average per game. And the Ottawa Senators, they've had some decent success up against the San Jose Sharks the last couple seasons. They won both games last year. They split, they lost both, but then they won both, split. So like most of the time they're getting the better of the San Jose Sharks in the 2 games that they play. So, and they always seem to play them late November. Ross, last late November up against the Sharks, that was when things really turned around. The Lily Levitan bump. Let's hope we can keep it going here as it's, hey, birth and then your first birthday. How about every year, late November, we get a Lily Levitan bump?
Yeah, no game on her actual birthday this year. That's Tuesday. But you know what? We'll take 2 wins here leading up to it. Would make her feel real good. And yeah, the season just turned around. There was the game on the Monday against Calgary where they won on the 25th, and then that road trip right away. And Ottawa took it really a step forward from that point on. For more on the Sharks, go check out JD Young. Does great work over at Locked On Sharks. Final thoughts from me. Stephen Halliday went to Ohio State. I don't know if you knew this, Pillsy, but the Sens posted him getting his first game puck and his first point puck. This guy is playing the National Hockey League wearing his Ohio State gitch. Hilarious.
Yeah, he loves it. Do the Ottawa Senators go to Columbus anytime soon? Halliday probably has that marked on his calendar as a game he's gotta be still up in the big leagues for.
That's so funny. And if you missed it, it's been a running joke with Steven
It's
for the
not
last
it's not even a joke,
a
really.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's literally a lifestyle. He's such a great kid, though, and awesome
yeah.
to see his parents were able to make
Yes.
it in attendance last night. So special for the family, and first of many, like I told him, that he's going to be playing in the National Hockey League. The offensive instincts are too good to ignore, and it's awesome to see him getting his chance. And I believe over time he will earn the trust of the coaching staff to be out there in the third period. As Dave Bell told us from Belleville, like he has really taken it upon himself to lock in and play and be as happy as a defensive play to help them win the game as he is putting cookies up on the board offensively. So fired up to see what he's got for an encore. Also, Ridley Gregg's day-to-day, so who knows what the status is there. And with San Jose being the opponent, Ryan Reeves, Desharnais in the lineup, maybe this is a Curtis McDermott game, or is that a McDermott or Hodgson, one or the other? Although Hodgson's been physical, man. I got no problem with watching him play. Lots of great storylines heading into this Saturday afternoon in California game and a Saturday evening game in the Eastern time zone. We will see you after the game for the postcast, and fired up for this game. The Ottawa Senators, man. Hasn't always been easy, hasn't always been pretty this year, but the Senators are finding ways to stay not only in the mix, but in the upper half of the pack of the teams vying for the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. Thank you so much to everybody for liking, watching, listening, and engaging with the show. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. This has been another edition of the Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day.